My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. If you're of the faint-hearted, well, you probably would have had a very entertaining weekend. And we are trying our best to make the Monday night special into a spectacular, to even come close to what happened over Saturday and Sunday. Which is why, before we even tell you anything about who's playing today, we will go straight to the man, because we do trust New Zealanders. Simon Doull, I promise you that.
Thank you very much, Gautam. Yeah, good afternoon. It's been a hectic weekend, mate. Calling that super overs yesterday was crazy times, but what did we have? We had 4 games over the weekend, and we had 2 balls was the sort of closest anyone or the furthest any game got. We had a 2-ball finish with AB de Villiers, then we had super over, and we had a last ball finish. So what an unbelievable weekend of cricket, and yeah, looking forward to tonight as well.
Joy, I'm even wondering when the players take the field, if they almost feel committed to try and provide the kind of entertainment that they had over the weekend.
I think they've got to forget about it, because it's just what happened over the weekend is a once in a lifetime. I mean, 4 matches like that, and to think, I almost feel bad for a fellow Kiwi, Lockie Ferguson, that he'd be thinking, man, I'll be the toast of the town tomorrow. By evening, he was forgotten, because so much had happened after that that seemed like, oh, Lockie, that happened a long time back. Yeah, he did something. Yeah, but that's the truth of it. There was just so much excitement that is impossible. But yeah, I think these players just have to say, we'll just try and win a cricket match, and hopefully we'll win it easy, because we don't want it. And apparently the Indian Medical Association has also put up a warning saying that, there are people with heart conditions. You don't do this every day. This could be trouble.
The other thing is also, everyone also wanted to clarify. I know I put out a tweet saying that we could be here all night. Let's have breakfast while we're watching this game, if we can go to our 9th super over. But the truth is, Simon Doull, we wouldn't have gone to a 9th super over, would we?
No, we wouldn't have. And look, we're a bit confused last night. We've been passed different information, and the laws have been brought in just for this tournament, new laws. So that's fine, and the IPL have that right to bring the governing council bring in their own laws. So what I've done here is I've actually got the laws in front of me, and what it's telling me here is 4 hours and 20 minutes is going to be the cutoff. It does seem silly to continue playing all night. And that would make sense. We don't want to be going into 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with super over after super over. So there is a 4-hour, 20-minute time limit. So basically, they've set out 3 hours 20 for a normal game. If it doesn't finish inside that normal time, that's fine. But if you happen to go to super overs, there is only 4 hours 20 available total. So providing the first innings of a super over, whether it be the first one, second one, or third one, is started inside that 4-hour 20 block, then that game will be finished, that super over will be finished, and then if that is tied, it'll be 1 point all. So I hope that clarifies it. I hope that makes sense. You can play 2 super overs, 3 super overs, 4 super overs, if the time permits, inside that 4 hours 20. But once that time is up, the game that is started just inside must be either finished, or it will be declared 1 point all if it's a tie.
Yep, fair enough. And of course, we also got the other rule clarified on the fly, with Kieron Pollard being allowed to play finally, even though he was scheduled to bat at number 3. He was not unpermitted to play, even though Anil Kumble tried his hardest. But let's put that aside. See what this whole weekend has done. We've actually got a match to look forward to today, and all we've been talking about is New Zealanders, which of course, with all due respect to Simon Doull, we should, and their role in super overs. But let's remind you, there's a match happening today. We can't promise you a super over. It's Chennai taking on Rajasthan, and it's a very, very crucial match. Number 37 from Abu Dhabi. And the reason we say that, Joy, is after everything that happened yesterday, with Kings actually alive and kicking in this tournament, these 2 teams will need to watch out.
Absolutely. And, this is, if you look at this, if this was a Hollywood film, you would have these 2 teams on the edge of a cliff just holding on by their hands. And one of them is going to be able to get up a little bit more. One of them will be left with one hand at the end of it, So it's literally that. They are at the precipice of being eliminated. 3 and 7, somebody will go out. 3 and 7 is almost impossible, because after that, the odds to actually qualify with 7 is very difficult. So the odds are against it. Then it's in other people's hands. So whoever wins today keeps their fate in their hands. whoever loses today, I mean, then they should go and buy mathematics and probability books, because that's what they really need after that.
Joy, it's fairly logical that it'll be in other people's hands. If you're hanging on from a cliff, you don't have any hands left, really, to have it in your own hands. So let's tell you about the two teams hanging on. The match referee flips the coin, which means you don't need to use your hands for that. MS Dhoni was the captain who won the toss and decided in his 200th game to bat first. Little bit of a new look. The beard's gone. Big landmark, Dooley, for MSD. But even though he's playing it down and saying, what's the difference between 199 and 200? It's big.
Yeah, look, it is massive. And, the longevity, the fitness, I guess the will and the desire when you've stopped playing international cricket to continue to play this. And, he's never, ever played the game for money. He has been very well rewarded from playing the game of cricket and from being an absolute superstar. But he's never, to me, seemed like that's the reason for playing. It's always been about his passion for the game and the way he loves this Chennai Super Kings outfit. He's so loyal. And I just, I think it's a deserved accolade. And, he will play it down because that's the sort of character he is. But it deserves a really nice celebration, I think.
Have you come across anyone as understated as MS Dhoni, Joy, when it comes to things like records, landmarks, getting to these points?
No, absolutely. He's ridiculously calm. And I mean, it is, for me, what he's done. Because if you look at it, Virat and he are the two guys who literally have started playing since 2008 and played every IPL through. A lot of their guys have fallen by the wayside. The Gambhirs are no longer there. Raina is no longer there. These two guys have been there. But he's played many more matches just because of the sheer consistency of his teams. I mean, the only time he ever tripped up was with a Pune team, which was in its first year, and it didn't work. Otherwise, he's always been there. That kind of consistency over 13 seasons is ridiculous. And he's just, what I love about him is he's just so totally unfazed by it. Okay, fine, 200 it is. It just is, it's an amazing, he's something else.
Yeah, even Danny Morrison couldn't get a reaction out of him from there. He was like, yeah, you mentioned the 200 figure, so yeah, talk about it then if you have to. But what you couldn't change was the fact that there is a match to be played, a toss to be won, a decision to be made, and of course, certain team changes. Let's just remind you, the big talk was about DJ Bravo and Ben Stokes. Will they both be playing? Well, I can tell you one of the two is playing, and that's Ben Stokes. DJ Bravo not finding his place in the side, but he's been replaced not by Imran Tahir, as we thought could be a possibility, but Josh Hazlewood, which I think is someone who started the tournament well, and it's the quality fast bowlers who have been doing the job. What about the other side, the men in pink? What are the changes that they have gone for? And you can see that's one solitary change. We've got Ankit Rajput coming in. He's done a good job as well, and he replaces Jaydev Unadkat. Stokes, Smith, Butler, Chopra are their four solid foreign players. But just quick look on the changes. Unadkat for, it's not the big talking point. Dooley, I'll get your thoughts on Josh Hazlewood.
Yeah, I've wanted Josh Hazlewood to play for that Chennai side for 7 games now, 8 games. He's only had one opportunity. I just think he is what they have been missing. And look, as will always happen, I'm going to be proven wrong. He's going to go for 60 and he's going to get no wickets. But they miss a real genuine wicket taker up front and a quick bowler who can actually put the frighteners up a couple of people. And that's what they have missed. And I know Chahar and Shardul and Sam Curran, they're wily campaigners, but they just don't have, they're the only team without anyone with the ability to bowl in excess of 140. And Hazlewood can do that, and he can really, he can rip the top order apart if he gets that opportunity. So I'm pleased to see him in there, and I, for one, just hope he does well.
Joy, we've made the citizenship jokes enough times. So other than that, how else does Imran Tahir make this 11?
Look, I once looked up his profile, and he's played for 37 teams in first-class matches. 37 different teams, I went through that list, and it started with Pakistan Gas and something, and then it goes on and on and on. So he's like the most amazing campaigner. But that record of his, and this man's 40 years old. People are looking at it saying that you need to retire, and he still does that. And what I love about him is he knows, and he's a smart campaigner, he knows this team, he can't make it, not just because he's not good enough, but because the balance of the side does not allow him. I mean, he, of all people, will be missing most Suresh Raina not being there. Because had Raina been there, maybe an excess, they could have dropped one of the international batsmen and he could have come in. But basically, he's stuck out there. The other interesting thing is, why is Piyush Chawla in? And I think Piyush Chawla is in because he's just a bit better of a batsman than Karan Sharma. And with Bravo going out, I think he just wants that one more batsman who can bat a bit, left-hander who can bat a bit. So I think that's the reason why, between Piyush and Karan, it's gone towards Piyush today.
Interesting thought there, because Karan Sharma does fancy himself as an all-rounder. But is that a little bit of loyalty, Joy, talking on behalf of Piyush Chawla?
No,
with Harsha
Joy,
not here, I
minute,
can say that I'm taking over his role.
Hang on, Joy. If you're getting down to Piyush Chawla and you're picking him because he can bat a bit, you're not picking your team for the right reasons, man. Surely, can that come into it? Between Piyush Chawla and Karan Sharma, we're going to pick Piyush because he bats a bit better. No way. They can't be thinking that. Their team, they can't be thinking that poorly about their top order and their batting, Joy.
You just watch it. I'm telling you, Piyush Chawla has won an IPL final by hitting Mitch Johnson for the six. I mean, what more could you want?
I know.
Which team was that for, Joy?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll leave it alone. Harsha would have been proud of me. Anyway, Simon's got me a little worried, and because he said Josh Hazlewood might go for 60, now you've put me in two minds, Simon. Should I put him in my level circle team or not? But here's a reminder to all of you. In case you're in two minds and you're listening to Simon or not listening to Simon, I think it's a good weekend to listen to him. Get onto your My 11 Circle app, download it, choose your team, whether you want Hazlewood or not, but make sure you get a captain and a vice captain in, and you're all set, up and running. Chennai against Rajasthan, lots to choose from. And when it's not going down to a super over, we hope you're not going to have another one. Maybe you're going to have lots more points coming from the main game. But if you've got the stamina to make those My 11 Circle teams, you're doing pretty well. But if you've got the stamina to be playing out there in that desert, you're doing even better. And have a look at who we've got for you today. We've got someone who's at a rating of 76 on the list. He might be number 10, but I can tell you what, he's just starting to find the kind of form we are used to from Ambati Tirupati Raidu. A batting rating of 81.1. Look at those last three innings. That's what Chennai will be looking at. He's found that form, gentlemen, and that will be a huge relief for Mr. 200.
Yeah, I think he's important to them. Also, just look at the amount of time he's spending in the crease. 58 balls in the crease is important to them because, see, he's a class bat. He can hit without slogging. And that's really important to them because, Faf and Watson can do that. Watson is also slogging when he's not getting form because that's his way out. But Ambati Raidu is that one guy who's not a slogger. So slogging is all great in 17, 18, 19, 20. But if you have guys trying to slog at 12 and 13 and 14, there's a problem. So they really need Raidu out there. Because the truth is that Dhoni is just woefully out of form. He's just not finding it. And you feel for him because he's a much better batsman than he's showing right now. And it's difficult at this level. So Raidu is their key. And he really needs to show some of that touch that he showed in the first match and the last couple of matches for them to start winning.
This is going to sound really silly. Oh, sorry, Gia, just say really silly. But what about just MS just jumping up to the top of the order? Instead of Sam Curran, just go out there and open and swing from the hips, man. He's such a great striker of the ball. Brand new ball, rock hard. Just see what you can do. He's got all the ability. He's horribly out of form. He's no good at 4 at the moment. Just have a go. You're the skipper. You can do what you want. Jump up the top and open with Faf and see what happens.
I can tell you, Dooley, you weren't interrupting me because that was exactly the question I was going to ask you. Both teams have an opening conundrum. We know the big question, should Stokes open, shouldn't he? But the question I was going to throw at you, and you've probably answered it for me, is should they go with Curran again up the order or not?
Look, I mean, if he's there to be the pinch hitter, to really get them off to a great start, it's okay. But I just don't know whether he has got that ability at this point in time. I think he'll go on to be a very good all-rounder at all levels of the game. But I just wonder whether he has the genuine power and all the shots in the book that an MS has or has had in the past. And maybe we could see a vintage innings or something along those lines. And without the fielders all out in the outfield and only 2 allowed out, maybe he might just have that little ounce of luck that he needs. So I know it's getting late in the piece to change, but it's a change that I would actually accept at this stage. I'm not sure it's a change they're going to make, though.
Yeah, I love it because, they're 3-6. What do they have to lose? They need to change stuff. Obviously, what they're doing hasn't worked for them, and you're absolutely right. Slightly harder ball, pitch slightly less worn out, less fielders out. Absolutely. He hits 3-4 shots, and, and remember, Dhoni's big innings, his breakout innings in international cricket was batting at number 3 when he was slotted to come in at 6 or 7. And I think John Wright was the coach, or another Kiwi. These Kiwis all the time, changing world cricket one ball at a time. And he walked in at 3 and batted and made that huge innings. I think it was 180. Was it 179 or 180?
At Vizag?
Yeah, at Vizag. And
183 at Vizag.
183 at Vizag, and that changed his career. His career changed batting at 3. So hey, I would look at it. Even if he's not opening, put him at 3. Put him somewhere where he can face a hard ball and may have a chance of the field being in.
And guess who? You talked about John Wright, Joy. Guess who might be making that call? A gentleman called Stephen Fleming.
Oh,
they're everywhere. The Kiwis are everywhere. We're taking over.
They're everywhere. But they might just look at the opposition. We've talked about 2 Englishmen, one in the form of Sam Curran, the other Ben Stokes. But when they look at their lineup and say who they're going to send out to pad up and open, they will have to consider the Jofra factor because he's been outstanding at the top of the order. So maybe the person who feels most confident about taking on Jofra at the top will be the one who'll walk out with Faf or Shane Watson. Have a look at the pace merchants against Chennai so far, Simon.
Yeah, Rabada's been very good, hasn't he? Norkia as well. Archer, that very economical, which is what we expect. And Navdeep signing none for 18. I just, I like the quick bowlers against. Faf du Plessis is a very, very good player. I don't think Shane Watson's quite as good as he was. And so I like the quick bowlers against him, but I also love the spin option against Watson. Early on, just target those pads with a left arm spinner or a leg spinner, maybe a Tuwatia, just skidding the ball back into Shane Watson. So I like that option early, but they will go with Archer and maybe try and really ruffle his feathers early on as well. So whatever you do against the Royals, you have to take the Jofra Archer factor into consideration because it's going to come at you quick. It's going to come at you at 150, and you better be prepared for it.
But yeah, the Frenchman, Joy, has been very good for the men in yellow. François du Plessis, for those who are not aware of name and they just call him Faf all their lives. But he has really made an impact, even at times when we saw his strike rate wasn't quite up to the mark. Remember those early days? He would come up and make up for it at the end.
Yeah, it's interesting thing that, the time he spent at CSK, and for many years, he was Mike Hussey's backup. He couldn't get a game because Mike Hussey was playing. And when Hussey moved on, he went to Mumbai, disastrous season, but he went to Mumbai. And I was asking Kashi, I was there at the IPL, then I was asking, what happens, He said, Faf is as good a player. We just kept him here. He's always been the backup for us. So they kept their faith in him, and he's repaid that faith in spades. And I think he now knows he is their team's #1 batsman. You see, till Raina was their #1 batsman. I think he's now taken that role. It's him and Raidu. They know these 2 guys are our top 2 pure batsmen that we have. And he's taken it on admirably, not just as a batsman. Look at him as a boundary rider. What an amazing job he's doing. And this is not the most athletic of teams, So he needs to be really good out there.
Yeah, I think you summed that up, Joy. Before you, as you started talking about his batting, I was going to butt in, but you completed that for me. My God, those catches at long on and long off. And then you think of a Shane Watson, with all due respect, every batsman is just looking, where's Shane Watson fielding? Okay, let me hit it to him. That's an extra run there. But, let's also bring all our viewers in. So many of you coming in, sending us messages, sending us mails, and of course, sending us questions. So it'd be only fair that we keep them coming on #AskCricbuzz. And let's see what we have for you today on #AskCricbuzz Live. In the current setup, what would Chennai want more? Ravindra Jadeja, the better batsman, or Ravindra Jadeja, the better bowler? Pity no one asked about Piyush Chawla or Karan Sharma as a batsman or a bowler. But Joy, you've got this one. You can talk about, because Jadeja has been showing glimpses with both his sword and with ball in hand.
No, I think, look, the truth of it is that given the situation that CSK is in, they need both. But if you were to ask me what they really need more from him, because Dhoni is not able to finish right now, Bravo not being there, I think they need Jadeja, the batsman. I think he needs to play consistently at 6-7 and give them runs. Because see, they need a finisher now like the other teams have. So he's got to say, look, I don't have a Pollard and a Hardik Pandya, and now, even this one, Nathan Coulter-Nine. But I have, so he's got to do that role out there because, I know you guys, Piyush Chawla is a great batsman. Of course, you don't trust him as much as I do, but he really needs.
I can't wait for PC to come into bat today. I really can't. But Dooley, would you endorse that? What about you? Adventurous enough to want MS at the top. What about Jadeja at 3?
I like Jadeja at 5, 5 or 6 at the most in that Chennai side. I just think he's a better player. You don't get first class triple hundreds by being an average player. Has Piyush got a first class triple hundred? Just not sure.
But he's got two first class hundreds. So.
Okay. So you saw Jadeja's numbers there, and they are good numbers this year. He's a far better batsman than at times he's been given credit for. And I think with responsibility at a 5 or a 6 at the least, number 6, get him above that if you can. He'll take some more of that responsibility on. And, he's got all the shots in the book. He can play the short ball, plays the spinners really well, and finds the boundary. So I've got no problem with him batting in that top 5, at worst, number 6.
Chennai batting first. Whatever they put on the board, there's going to be one person who's going to be always and often an unsung hero. And if you're just looking for that last-minute change and you want your tip, the My 11 Circle trump card, the one we have for you today is, here we go, Shardul Thakur. Just look at his record in his last 16 T20 games, 16 matches, 27 wickets. Yeah, the economy will keep changing, but the fact is, if you keep picking wickets, that's what gets you the points in your My 11 Circle teams. Right, so we are all set to start the game, but we've got just a little bit of business left. And Joy, I'm going to throw it over to you first, and what you have served up for us on the Joy Factor today.
Yeah, I've got a weekend hangover, so that's the only hint I'll give for this question. And here goes. With respect to international cricket, what first is held by New Zealand's Daniel Vettori and West Indian Suleiman Ben? What first in international cricket?
Seems to be an interesting one. Dooley hasn't got it off the bat yet.
No.
If you do, no hints.
Okay. All right. I'll have a think about that one. I'll have an answer for you by half time.
Fair enough. By which time we've probably already had answers from half the world. But that's okay. Simon, you're not competing with them. These guys are absolutely nuts the way they get in their answers in 10 seconds flat. Right. We've also got to look at our My 11 Circle badge of honor. I've been missing for a few days and I've been doing woefully even when I was here. So that doesn't really help me much. Joy, you've been doing really well at this. So you can maybe lead the way and we can try and slot in on either side of you. So 20 over score for CSK in MSD's 200th game.
Okay, yeah. I've been low bowling all week and the weekend hasn't been good to me, I have to say. But I was good before that. The weekend has been atrocious. But I'll stay with the low bowling because I think it's a low pitch. I'll go 167.
167. Shridul?
It's a used surface, so yeah, I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to go 158.
167, 158. I think I'm going to trust. It's just he's got a sense of occasion. Sam Curran opening the batting, few runs for him. MSD is going to get runs in his 200th game. 179.
Okay.
Not too many, but 179. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, we've got a nice wide arc there today. Let's see if there's enough of a wide arc in all the batsmen that come out for Chennai. Where will Jadeja bat? How much will Piyush Chawla make? That is going to be the big question for me. Karan Sharma's not there, and it's going to be Piyush Chawla we're going to focus on. And Joy, I can tell you what, if he makes more than 30 runs, no matter who's guessed what, you're getting that badge of honor. Is that the deal? Fair deal. That's what we've got for you. We're going to see you in the 10th over on Cricbuzz Combox, and we're going to have plenty more conversation at the halfway mark. My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live.